All right, let's talk about something that's not about studying or last-minute cramming. We're going to focus on your secret weapon, a concrete battle plan for what to do inside the exam hall. This is how you manage time like a top scorer.
Oh man, we have all been there, right? It is the most frustrating feeling in the world, knowing the answers, but just running out of time. Well, that's a problem we are going to solve right here, right now.
See, here's the thing. It's not always about knowing more. It's about being smarter with the time you've got. I'm going to show you exactly how to take back control so you're the one in charge of the exam, not the other way around. So here's the secret. Top scorers don't just open the paper and start frantically writing. Nope. They have a very specific, very deliberate game plan for those first 5 minutes.
And this is that plan. It's incredibly simple, but it's a total game changer. First, you're going to read the entire question paper. As you go, you're basically triaging the questions. The easy ones you know you can absolutely ace, give them a check mark. The medium ones that you're pretty sure about, they get a circle. And the really tough, time-consuming ones, mark those with a star.
What's really cool about this is the psychological shift that happens. In just a few minutes, you've mapped out the entire battlefield. And this simple act gives you control. You're no longer just reacting, you're executing your own strategy. Okay, so you've got your map. Now let's talk about pacing. This brings us to the secret weapon of pretty much every efficient student, the time per mark formula. This right here is your golden rule. It's a simple piece of math that changes absolutely everything. You just take the total minutes for the exam, divide it by the total marks, and boom, you get your minutes per mark. This one number is going to be your pacing guide for the entire test. Let's see how it works in practice. So for a typical 3-hour, 180-minute exam that's worth 100 marks, your magic number is 1.8 minutes per mark. Instantly, you know you should spend no more than 9 minutes on a 5-mark question and about 18 minutes on a 10-mark question. See? No more guesswork. Okay, so you've mapped the paper and you know your timing. Now, where do you actually start? This is where we need to talk about the smart answering order. So many students fall into this trap of tackling the toughest question first. That is the losing strategy. It wastes your best time and it just creates panic. The winning move? Start with those easy questions, the ones you marked with a check mark. You secure marks early, you build momentum, and most importantly, you boost your confidence. And that confidence is everything. Getting those early marks in the bag equals confidence, and that confidence leads to faster, clearer thinking. You're basically warming up your brain on the questions you already know you can answer. Now that you're feeling confident, you're in the flow state, let's talk about presentation, because this isn't just about what you write, but how you write it. This is all about writing like a high scorer. Think about the examiner. They are not looking for a novel. They're looking for clarity. So make their job easy. Use bullet points instead of long paragraphs. Write clear headings. Underline your keywords. If a diagram helps, draw a neat one and label it. And always write out the core formulas and definitions you're using. Here's the bottom line, and I want you to remember this. More words does not equal more marks. Clarity equals more marks. Be direct, be clear, and make it as easy as possible for the examiner to find your points and give them to you. But what happens when you hit a wall? You know, even with the best plan, you might just get stuck. That's where this next simple technique comes in, the 2-minute rule. Remember this number, 2 minutes. Think of it like a safety valve that's going to prevent you from wasting all your precious time. Now, the rule is simple, and it is non-negotiable. If you've been staring at a question for more than 2 minutes and getting nowhere, you have to stop. Put a little star next to it and move on immediately. You can always come back later. What's amazing is your brain will often keep working on it in the background while you're tackling other problems. All right, so you've worked through the easy and medium questions, you've tackled the tough ones, and now you're in the home stretch. This is the final 15-minute boost, and this is where you can secure a whole bunch of extra marks. Top students budget their time something like this. About 70% of their time is for the questions they're sure about. 20% is for those tough, starred questions. And a crucial 10%, that final 15 minutes or so, is reserved specifically for revision. It's not an afterthought, it's a planned part of the strategy. So what do you do in this revision time? Well, first you go back to any of those questions you skipped. Then you do a final sweep. Check your question numbers, verify your calculations in units. Fix any silly spelling mistakes and underline a few final keywords. I'm telling you, this phase alone can easily add an extra 5 to 10 marks to your final score. Finally, let's talk about the biggest enemy in any exam hall: panic. Here's a really simple technique for keeping your mind calm when things get tough. I mean, it's the ultimate fear, isn't it? You've studied for weeks, you know the material, but you look at a question and there's just nothing. What do you do if your mind just goes blank? Okay, first rule: don't panic about the panic. Just do this. First, put your pen down and take 3 slow, deep breaths. This physically calms your nervous system down. Second, just start writing anything you know that's even remotely related to the topic: a definition, a formula, a keyword. It's amazing how the physical act of writing can often unlock the rest of your memory. So let's end with this. I want you to remember that exams don't just test what you know, they test how smartly you use your time under pressure. With this strategy, you're not just prepared with knowledge, you're equipped with a plan. You're in control. Now go write with confidence.